No, I love it.
Live from VentureX Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
I love it. Okay. Shambriella, instead of doing the 3-2-1, did the 5-4-3-2-1. So we're pumped on this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, the crew. Happy birthday, belated birthday to Michelle, and then happy birthday today to Ann Guzman. So two of our favorite members of the crew. Birthdays back to back. So super excited to celebrate both of you, and what a blessing y'all are in our lives. So happy birthday. We have another blessing in our lives here on the show. We have Ask Dr.B Good, Rebecca Good. Dr. Rebecca Good, that is, from the Ask Dr.B Good show. And good morning to you, Dr. Good.
Morning. It's a gorgeous day out there. I don't know if you have had a chance to be outside and have, oh my gosh, it makes you want to walk a long distance.
It does.
So
I wanted to
to
take my
today.
dog and just stay outside all day today, except then I started sneezing from allergies and was like, well, maybe not. Oh, well, so how are you this morning, and what do we have going on? Just so much talk in education right now, Dr. Good. You know, parents, I've had a number of parents contact me, being a former teacher, about their kids going back to school. There are some parents who are super excited. Some are very nervous. What's the big talk in education this week?
Well, so, it's funny you should say that. I was talking to my trainer this morning, and he has a son who's about 15, so he's going into 10th grade. And he's one of these kids that just has to have breathing treatments twice a day. And so the virtual world worked out really well for him. He's in Dallas ISD. And I asked him, I said, so what are the plans for your son? He said, well, we're going to continue doing virtual. I said, no. I said, virtual is done.
Yeah.
For a place like Dallas, you don't have that choice anymore. He said, well, he can't go back. I said, well, y'all need to be in contact with
your school.
With the school, because the school expects him back. And it was like he had no idea.
I don't think he's alone, Dr. Good. It's interesting. There are several folks, and I even spoke to somebody, I was in Boston over the weekend, which it was wonderful. And you said, did I get to see some sights? No, because I was too busy crying in the bathroom after orientation. So that's a whole nother story. We can chat about that on the phone. But anyways, and I talked to some folks, and, we're talking about education, and, well, in Texas, y'all don't have to wear masks anymore, all this different stuff. And just the perception is that the combined, either you're going to get an email from your school or your school district saying, does your child want to do virtual or on, in person on campus? More people than not, I believe, think that that's still an option.
It's just not. And you've heard me say on here that that's done. The state has said, oh, yeah, sure, districts, you guys go right ahead and offer virtual. We're just not paying for it.
Yeah.
So there's actually no money in going virtual. Now, there are some districts who probably will use the virtual world to help kids that are homesick stay kept up, but there will be no payment for those kids. Those kids will still be counted as sick days. So that is just not an option. And if you're not sure about what your school is going to do, first of all, shame on the school. The school should have been already sending lots of communication about that before they close down. Most schools districts are closed down right now. They will start up next week. But that all should have been cleared up before they went on their break.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you're retired, but I'm using air quotes for retired because you've got 9,000 things going on. The school district that you were just the CEO and superintendent for, how did y'all get that information out to the parents, and when did y'all get that out to the parents?
We've been talking, well, we were very over-communicative during the legislative session, especially towards the end of it. What we did is every time we had some certainty because some law had been passed, then we would get that information to parents in two languages, by the way, in English and Spanish, both. We had parent meetings in English and Spanish. At night we had what we call the Wednesday packet that went home every Wednesday in English and Spanish about what was going on, upcoming events, all of that. It was ongoing stream. As we found out, first we alerted staff and then we alerted parents. I mean, it's just an ongoing communication stream so that when parents say, I didn't know, that sent us a message about the parent.
Yes.
Either the parent hadn't gotten us current email / cell phone, or the parent was making choices not to answer our text or to look at our text or our emails that we were sending. And those are choices parents tend to make. They're busy, they get frazzled, and so the last thing they want to read is something from the school. Get it, but...
So, Dr. Good, I noticed you used a word that I don't know that I've ever heard you use in at least the last year of the pandemic. The word was certainty. I don't know that we had any certainty coming out of Austin at any point in time. You guys were a free flow.
I can say is we over communicated.
Yeah, there was so much free flow. It was like watching waves in an ocean.
And you probably know that because you were part of our world, and you know how much we communicate, and so you heard parents say in your tribunals with us, right? I didn't know. It's like, well, the school did this and the school did that, so I'm not sure where the breakdown was, right? I mean, we don't ever want to be accusatory.
How about I'm knocking on your door? I mean, I'm at your house right now. Oh, you are? Yeah, where are you? I'm in the back room. I'll be there in a minute. Oh, you didn't hear the doorbell?
Well, you know, and it just goes back to, and I think, okay, you know, I know we slam the media all the time. This is something, if I'm in the media, I'm doing some kind of a thing, well, like what we do with you, and we've done with you for years, even when we were back on radio. On a Wednesday morning, you have an expert, or you have an expert from a different ISD, and talk, you know, have somebody from Frisco ISD. We are going, everybody's back, butts in seats, you know, make this a push, because parents do catch the news from time to time. I would take advantage of that. And it just seems like, I don't know. I mean, it would be one of those things. If I were the superintendent of a school district, I'd be like, okay, not only are we sending out a massive thing from the ISD, from the superintendent, but then we're also putting out there all kinds of things all over social media. We're texting alerts to the parents, which that's an option. I know I get a ton of text messages from, you know, from
your ISD.
From my ISD. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so it's one of those things. I think there's so many places. Plus, I would have the individual principal, because, okay, if I'm looking through my email box, I'm a parent, I'm like, oh gosh, another alert from the ISD, who cares? Which that kind of is foreign to me. But anyways, I know, I get it. Then I see something from principal so-and-so. Oh, I better open this. And the first line says, all students are back in school physically, face-to-face, as learners on August whatever. I don't know. It seems like you would really bring that to people's attention.
And actually, while you were talking, I was thinking about the news has helped us also. The schools weren't the only ones communicating that there was no more virtual school. It was all over the news, right?
Yep.
So if you were a parent and you didn't sort of know that, gosh,
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, though, if you remember, you and I had a conversation. I had gone out to Lubbock, and I was talking with a teacher out in Lubbock and an assistant principal, and their superintendent had not passed down the information that you had shared on our show the Wednesday prior. And it was,
really?
Yeah, and it was important information from TEA.
Interesting.
And so, you know, I think also depends on where you live, and if your superintendent disseminates that information quickly, or if they kind of sit on it for a while.
Well, and that's true. I mean, there are, and you and I have seen this also, JP, where we have school leaders who they just don't think people need to know what they're learning. You know, I mean,
Right.
you know that there's an
just don't get
arrogancy
that.
sometimes that happens at the top, whether you know, school business or not school, you know, school organizations, that you know, it just depends on what kind of leadership you have. And I'm a communicator. That's what I do. And
Yes.
so being able to bring it here, to bring it through my show, to bring it to our parents, bring it to our staff. You know, we had that very strong protocol that we really, really tried to get the information to staff first, so that we couldn't be accused of telling parents things that staff didn't know, right? And so, because that happens in districts also, where the principals will give information to parents and forget to tell their own teachers that. So, you know, it's just all about becoming a better leader. That's why there's so many leadership seminars out there for people. And
right.
If they're smart, they'll take advantage of it. But hey, and one of the things I wanted to bring to the crew is those people that have kids going to college. There's a good article about 12 ways to prepare your freshmen for college. Things to do during the summer, and one of them that caught my eye, and this is, of course, the crew is my liaison to others, right? So maybe not everybody in the crew has a freshman in college brewing this summer, but you've got friends and family that do. And that is, make sure that, and it sort of goes with what we're talking about, make sure that you know, parents of this incoming freshman, what the COVID protocols are for your college.
Yes.
Because
yes,
the different colleges have different protocols. Some require the vaccine and some don't. And if you are one of these that aren't getting the vaccine because you don't feel you need it or whatever your stance is on it, there are going to be certain penalties. They will require the vaccine card. If you don't have the card, then you will have to be socially distanced. You'll have to take COVID tests at your own expense, parent, on a frequent basis. There are protocols that you need to know about for incoming freshmen. So I thought that was sort of a good tip. It's not only the school districts, the pre-K-12, but it's also colleges. And the colleges tend to have stricter protocols. A lot of the colleges are private, and they can do that. So make sure you know what's going on at your college. So that was, I thought, a very timely tip. Some of the others include making sure that you're reading a lot this summer in preparation. Make sure your child is reading. I see a lot of kids who sort of take it easy during the summer, and then they go to college for the first time, and they're in culture shock. So,
right.
Be smart about that. Have you researched the majors that your college offers? Hopefully, if you had a good high school, your college counselor made you do that through Naviance or some of the other softwares. But, what I found is the degree of knowledge that kids get about college readiness in their high schools really varies. And so I've done podcasts on that, and I'll remind parents again, do not assume that your child is getting good college readiness information from the school's counselors. Don't assume it. Be proactive, be an advocate for your high schooler, and make sure that you know when college night is, what is going on, how they're preparing kids for college, all of that. And it's not only college. College stands in for college, vocational school, and military. They have to do all three and expose kids to all three. And the good high schools are doing that, the not so good are not. So remember, as always, you're the advocate for your child. You have got to make sure that what I'm talking about is happening in your school. That is normal, should be normal high school behavior. It's not special or only in special high schools. This should be going on in all high schools. And if it's not going on in yours, you need to make some noise about it. And if you don't know how to make noise, contact me.
You know how to help people make noise.
I know how to help people. So anyway, I know you have other guests waiting, but thank you for letting me come on and share that action piece with those people that are going to the first and really probably returning to college. It's probably not just a freshman thing. All colleges and all college students are going to be returning to a new environment, a new COVID protocol environment. Make sure you.
Excellent information as always, Dr. Good. We appreciate you and have a blessed rest of the week. And what are people looking forward to on your show this Sunday at 8 a.m.?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about this college readiness. Again, as I talk to more districts and more parents, I am really finding out how little our parents and our even high schoolers know about what awaits them. And so we'll be talking a little bit about preparing for that. I didn't get through. I had a great article on really being able to help kids stay healthy during the summer. And so we're going to continue that. Our health continues to be in a flux. I don't have my Wednesday babysitting gig tonight because the almost 5-year-old was exposed to COVID.
Oh,
and so
okay.
Yeah, and it's like, the parents are vaccinated. He's not vaccinated, of course. And so
right.
Now it's like, what's the protocol? And so I want to talk more about that because we've been in this, year and a half, and yet we still are uncertain, right?
Right.
And so making sure that we practice healthy practices this summer so that if we are exposed to COVID, no matter what our age is, that we have a feeling that it's not going to be a problem. So, and it all has to do with healthy practices. So that's, I'm beating that drum, but unfortunately, it still needs to be said. So anyway, we'll be talking more about that, keeping you healthy during the summer.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks so much, Dr. Good. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. It's interesting, JP, she mentioned her 5-year-old, her 5-year-old grandchild being exposed to COVID. And that's one of the things, and again, there's, a bajillion things we hear during the day, and JP and I are always going back and forth. One of the things that popped up on one of my news feeds yesterday was that the current White House administration is looking to make anyone over the age of 2 now wear a mask. So, and again, I just start thinking, where will it end? And at some point, have we not gotten to a point where enough people are vaccinated? Is this because of the new strain? So many unanswered questions. And it's, if you're a parent right now, it really is up to you, no matter what age your child is, to figure out what the COVID protocol is for this upcoming school year. You've got to go out there and find that information. And if your school district's not giving it to you, go rattle some cages.
We'll get some rattlesnakes.
Okay. Is it rattlesnake roundup time?
It could be. It sounds like that's what Democrats are doing. They're trying to round up as many rattlesnakes as possible.
The heck?
Yeah, I tell you what. Here's what's interesting, right?
Yeah.
The CDC has laid out all kinds of guidelines.
Yep.
Being that you don't have to wear a mask at school, again, it becomes a choice, right? And so how each state employs those challenges that are laid out by the CDC for schools to meet will determine what kind of school you have. And I'll tell you, if I'm a parent, I'm looking for that school of choice. And
you better believe
I'm
it.
looking at leaving my zip code if it's not going to match my needs. And here's the thing. If there are no children to teach in the classroom, then there's no need for that school, and the school goes away. I mean, that's how you make your statement, right? Or you do it at the ballot box until you can get a school board that aligns with your community. So, but again, it's interesting because I started to see the propaganda machine called the media has fired up again, and they're reporting 23,000 new cases a day over the last 7 days, and prior to that, over the course of 14 days, supposedly we were only at 11,000 a day. And of course, they're saying it's the Delta variant. And, here's the thing. There was somebody on social media that said, and it was a Chinese woman, and I don't remember exactly how she said it, but what she said was that there will be 3 pandemics called on. And so we've had the one, the Delta variant, and I said this.
Is this the second? And so
this would be number 2.
Number 2, okay.
And I'm telling you, I said this 2 or 3 weeks ago on the air that they're going to try to lock us down again. Oh, it's coming as we get closer to the start of school.
You mentioned this, and we talked about it at length a few weeks back. You're right and we're like, what did we say? Jokingly, but kind of not. Everybody go out and start buying your toilet paper again. It's one of those things. So, and sadly, I know I've got family members. I know members of the crew that we've talked to have started stocking up on paper towels, cleaning things, cleaning,
I haven't.
what have you, toilet paper. Well, I've just been in a habit ever since COVID. I always keep at least an extra, 6, 8, or 12 pack of toilet paper. Now, your dad's the one who stocked up on the toilet paper. So
like 40 roll or no 400 rolls.
yeah,
of toilet
so
paper.
you're good. Like, okay, if we go through another toilet paper shortage again, Stan the man,
He's got the black
comedian, he's got the black market. It
Little
may
side
cost
gig.
you a little.
A little side gig.
Yeah,
Well, he's retired.
He's retired, so he's got to have a side
he's
hustle.
gotta make a little bit of money.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
one of those things that people are preparing just in case. Grabbing up all the things that went off the shelf before. You look at the price of things, and you look at inflation and all the different stuff that we're dealing with. I mean, every single time. Went to Market Street the other day which, by the way, I have your lotion next to the last one, JP. So this is the popular fragrance for the summer. Anyways, and it was the normal kind of stuff I buy when I go to Market Street, which is about once a month. All of a sudden, I was like, that was over $100 today. Wait a second. And it's just, it continues every time I go to the grocery store. Just the normal run-of-the-mill things I get, it's costing me more. I know it's costing me more at the gas pump. So you start getting nervous, and you start hearing things like, hey, the Delta variant's going to be worse once school starts, or there's this third strain possibly coming through. Be prepared for another lockdown.
Well,
It's scary.
Well, it is. And here's the thing, right? Democrats are starting to really run scared to the point now where they are threatening, to some extent, to want to monitor your text messages.
And what? First of all, I think they would be entertained if they saw what JP and I texted each other on and off all day. I think that would be fun for them. Maybe they need some levity. This is scary stuff.
Yeah, they want to be able to determine when people are giving misinformation about vaccines.
That's nobody's doggone business. Okay, so what about the vaccines that I got my kids when they were little bitty? Yes, back in the day, I was texting my girlfriends back and forth, and we were like, hey, went and got the MMR and the mumps, measles, rubella, and this, that, and the other, and got all three of these. Did your so-and-so, did Johnny have a reaction? Did Katie have a reaction? And that's nobody's business what I was sending back and forth with my fellow moms.
Well, this is what White House spokesman Kevin Munoz told Politico. When we see deliberate efforts to spread misinformation, we view that as an impediment to the country's public health and will not shy away from calling that out. Here's the thing. Facebook and Twitter have given Democrats this power, or this power hunger anyways, to want to now control all of the communication and monitor it. And if they don't like what you're putting out, then they want to get rid of you or get rid of your ability to communicate. They've done it to us.
Yeah.
They've put us in the shadow box, which is why our numbers just dwindled almost to nothing. Thankfully, we have the crew, and they've stuck with us regardless of how bad Facebook has tried to kill us. But here we go. This is the next step. And I mean, it's like I'm watching Fahrenheit 451, or I'm reading the book. Here we go. We're going to start I'm telling you what's coming. We're going to start burning books in the middle of the street real soon. And it's like, is this really becoming our reality? And so there better be a pushback. And everything that falls under this. I'm waiting for this to happen when Republicans come out, or just people come out and say, no, we're not going to allow you to monitor our text messages. Well, you're a racist. It's coming, because that's their go-to right now.
Well, it has been on everything election-wise. And now you're finding, okay, in Arizona, the Supreme Court looked at this and said there was not one case of racism or racial inequality when it came to voting. Because when they said, you had to vote in your own precinct and all this kind of stuff. So, so if in court things are being proven not to be racist, that the media and the current administration is saying is racist, well, then where are they going to go with that, JP? Are they just going to overstep the facts?
Yes, because those facts don't fit them. I'm telling you, that's where we're at. And if we don't push back as a country, I remember when Ronald Reagan ran for president and Walter Mondale won his only state he won was his own. The push came from Middle America. That's where the difference maker is. You've got the East Coast versus the West Coast, and those guys will battle out to about a 50-50 hit, right? And then you've got Middle America that makes the decision.
Yep.
And so the question is, does the farmer stay on the couch, or does he get off the couch and go out and vote, right? So when it's hitting his pocketbook, the answer is, yeah, he gets off the couch and he goes and votes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be coming. And you are going to be talking about white farming versus black farming, which is now a thing.
And I thought, and how should that ever be a thing? And I thought about your sister.
Well, she's
up
white.
in Wisconsin.
She's white, though.
I know. So then I'm like, okay.
We were invaded by the Huns, though.
But then, I know that's the thing. So she's a white female, and she's a female, in charge of a farm. So okay, then are you saying that is this going to be then if you're a white woman, then you're not good? And I'm like, at what point does this I don't know. I don't even know what you call it. At what point does this insanity not stop? And people don't say, hey, if farmers are in need, let's look at farmers as a whole. Let's not say, well, you're worthy, but you're not. That's frightening that you can even put people into those categories.
And I'm going to read Ann Guzman. Do we have Representative Leach with us yet?
He should be on any minute. Chambriel, if you'll let us know when he comes on.
All right.
He's going to talk about the Democrats who have left the state.
Is he on or no?
He
no.
said he's on in a few minutes. So
Ann Guzman said, okay, if you don't vote
Happy
for
birthday.
him, you ain't black. Now, if you don't agree with him, you're a Confederate. That is one way to promote unity. Don't believe the handlers realize the unity they are creating. This bullcorn fiasco game they just played with Texas don't cut it. Texans don't run, and we are not dumb enough to believe 3 charter buses and 2 charter planes suddenly appeared, and Goofy gave an election speech the same day the MLB played their bogus game, and Pennsylvania is getting ready to audit election results. What a stupid, disastrous mess this bunch of power mongers are. Really, power monkeys is what I would have called them. But Ann's right on target here, and this is what's going on, right? This is what's happening, and if we're not careful, the very, very, very small percentage of Americans that are running the media right now will start to control the government, will start to control the communication. That who controls communication controls the waves of this country. Now, not the stalwarts, not the guys and gals that are, firmly in concrete and know what their beliefs are, but control the waves. It's like the college program we're going to blow out here in about a week. These college kids have no clue, and they're sitting there bashing America and how they would never live here. And so the reporter goes, so would you be willing to give up your passport and give up your citizenship and move somewhere?
Yeah.
And the answer was, well, no. Well, how do you know all this information? Well, my professors told me. And we want to open that up to K through 12?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I tell you what, JP and I, we're on a roll ranting today. And now we're going to bring State Representative Jeff Leach on to talk about special session. And
well, you got to let me roll something out at him right at the beginning.
Roll,
because
roll.
The crew is on a roll.
I love it.
So do we have Representative Leach? I don't
we
see
do.
him.
Oh, do you have video feed,
Can
Representative?
You hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all
All
hear
right.
me?
No, we got you now. All right.
We hear you.
So here's the deal, Jeff. The crew is on fire right now. Are you going to head out and start arresting Democrats and make them suckers come back and do their job?
Well, it's certainly an option. Yeah, yesterday the House voted, and I supported any and all efforts to get our Democrat colleagues back into the state of Texas and back to the House chamber. All of your listeners this morning, I imagine many of your listeners waking up, they're headed to work. They have to show up to work today, and if they don't, they're certainly not going to be paid, and they're probably going to be fired. And the same should be true for your elected policymakers. And we're going to continue to show up here in the Texas House every single day until they get back so that we can get our work done for the people of Texas.
And what a crazy concept. So, Representative Leach, you were elected by the taxpayers, by we the people here in the state of Texas, correct, in your district?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, they hired you by electing you to do a job, correct?
They elected me to do a job, whether I vote the right way or vote the wrong way. whether they agree with me or disagree with me, they elected me, and they expect me to show up to work. Absolutely.
Well, I guess, and I'm looking, okay, if JP and I didn't show up for our jobs, well, guess what? Not going to be around very long. I'm not going to get contracts re-signed or whatever the case may be. Average, Joe taxpayer who's out there working a 9-to-5 job, trying to handle this during a pandemic, handle all the changes that have come around, inflation, higher prices at the gas pump. Do they have a choice of just going to D.C. and being treated, having the royal red carpet and royal treatment for them? I mean, where is this fair?
Well, it's not fair. And the Democrats are in Washington, D.C. right now, and they're all over the mainstream media. They're meeting with Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and they're taking their selfies and they're raising money while the people of Texas are at work, and the people of Texas are expecting us to be at work in the Texas House. Look, guys, we got important work to do for the people of Texas. Yes, this election integrity bill, which makes it, by the way, easier to vote. This bill expands voting opportunities in the state of Texas. Despite what their talking points say, this is a good bill that reasonable Texans can and should eagerly support. But put that aside, we've got bills relating to lowering property taxes, taking care of our retired teachers, ensuring that our kids in foster care are taken care of, that they're provided for, that we're improving foster care. There are so many issues that are on the plate right now that Democrats are petulantly refusing to allow to come up for debate and for a vote. And I don't think that the people of Texas are going to stand for it for very long.
I think it's horrible. I think this is it's unacceptable. And you're mentioning things. So foster kids who are in need, retired teachers who desperately deserve this extra check, they've earned it. It's complete disregard for them. And you're right. And they're treating it like, and I was so frustrated. I was texting with JP yesterday and I was saying, how is it that they're there? Like you said, they're getting selfies. They're getting literally the red carpet rolled out for them like they're some type of celebrities. They're breaking the law. They're not doing their job. They're thumbing their nose at the taxpayer and at we the people. There's work we have to get done.
There is work we have to get done. And look, if you're opposed to the bill, although importantly, Kathy, I've asked many of them, and your constituents, your listeners should be asking them as well. What specifically do they disagree with in the election integrity bill? What specifically do they claim suppresses voting or makes it harder to vote, or that unnecessarily discriminates against minority communities and minority voters? Show us those provisions in the bill. They won't find them because they don't exist. I would never support a bill. Governor Abbott would never support a bill. You would never support a bill that discriminates unnecessarily or unlawfully against minority voters, that makes it harder to vote, that makes our elections less secure, less safe, less fair, less free. That bill is not on the table right now. And so not only are they opposing a good bill that we should support, they're refusing to come to work. And at the very core of all of this is the refusal to show up and do the hard job. Show up, vote no if you want. I don't know why you'd vote no on this bill, but show up for work so that we can do and complete and finish the important work that the people of Texas elected us to do.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems. I mean, JP, doesn't it seem to you like this is just common sense? How many times when you were an elected official? How many times when I was on commissioner's court did you know a vote was not going to go your way? You know that. I mean, you go in and sometimes you're falling on the sword, but you do it because that's what your constituents have asked of you. That's what the taxpayer is telling you to do. And guess what? The taxpayer is your boss if you're an elected official. I couldn't be like, well, I'm not going to show up at court today, because I'm just, what? I don't like the way the vote's going to go.
Well, here's my thing. You need to allow the process to be the process. Where the votes fall, the bills are passed, the bills are not passed, and then everybody learns what they're about, figures it out, and they go about their life, integrating it into their life. And for Democrats to take off and run and think they represent what the state wants, that's not what the state wants. And so, Jeff, keep hard charging and get Republicans excited. Let them know the people out here support what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Whether you're a Republican or I've got Democrat friends that are saying they're embarrassed by this, that they would have thought they would have learned from the first time they did this not to do it again. We are not the state of Harris County.
Okay, so and JP, these are friends of yours who are voting Democrats.
Correct.
Somewhere in the state of Texas, and they're even saying, "What the heck?"
Correct. So,
Oh, well,
Yeah, look, I've talked to a few of my Democrat. I've talked to a couple of my Democrat colleagues who are up in Washington right now, and as late as last night, and a couple of them are now scratching their heads thinking, okay, what's the end game here? They don't even know what their plan is. But I can tell you what our plan is. Our plan is to continue to show up for work. If at the end of this special session on August 7th, we have not passed these important bills, Governor Abbott will call us right back on August 8th.
As he should.
Continue, although I don't want to be away from my family and from my home and from my business, from you guys, from my constituents.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay here and do my job in the Texas for as long as it takes.
That's what, when you got reelected, that's what we reelected you, quote unquote, hired you to do. So thank you for that. And you think this would be so simple. I mean, you're right. The crew, everybody's just outraged at this,
They are.
you know?
Hey, Jeff, can I jump down to something that's on Greg Abbott's agenda for the special session? It's at the very bottom. And I know that a lot of us are talking about it and thinking about it. You know, I've got a daughter. I think you have daughters, right?
Daughter and two sons, he has.
Daughter
I
and
have
two.
one dog.
Yeah.
It's the ability for a male who then tries to trans into a female to be able to participate in sports as a female. Are we going to get movement on that? Are we going to protect the young women of Texas and allow them to flourish within sports? Or are we going to take that away from them?
Yeah, so you cut out a little bit. I hope that y'all can hear me on my end.
We can.
hear you now.
We can.
Issues,
What
but,
it
I think
was
your
is that
question
it's the
is about
transgender issue.
with the women's bill. Yeah, what's about protecting women's sports.
Right.
There's no question that we're going to do everything we can to pass legislation protecting our girls, our women who play sports from those who don't need to be opportunities within our UIL rules here in the state of Texas to play boys sports or girls sports or co-ed sports like track and field. But you're going to compete against folks that you need to be competing against, period. That's the way we've always done it in this state and in this country, and we're not going to change it now. So again, if Democrats want to stay away and continue to refuse to allow us to do our work, by the way, which is supported by the vast majority of Texans, this is common sense legislation. This isn't crazy stuff. This just makes sense. And this is protecting Texans. And we're going to pass it, and we're going to be here for as long as it takes to do so.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just because that's a big concern. The crew is concerned. I've got a lot of friends that are concerned about
Right.
it. You know, I had a daughter that participated in female sports.
Right.
And, you know, once you're a boy, Pinocchio. That's the way it goes, bud. And your hormones, you can do as much as you want with hormone therapy. Your muscles are just different than that of a female muscle.
Well,
group.
and again, I go back to, and this is kind of like we talked about with Biden saying that, you know, farmers were going to get aid except for white farmers. I'm like, well, what about the white female then? Where does she fall? And I look at this and I feel like this administration and this liberal socialist movement that we have going on, and Jeff, I'd like to hear your thoughts. It really works against a lot of things that were put into place, for example, to protect girls and women decades ago. And I feel like we're moving backwards. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, Kathy, to your point, it should be so black and white for common sense, reasonable Texans, Americans, citizens. If as we're talking to one another, as we're communicating about these issues, I find that the vast majority of people agree on these very simple issues. When you're born a boy, you're always a boy. When you're born a girl, you're always a girl. What's on your birth certificate does not change. God wires us and creates us and makes us who we are. And the fact that we are now having a conversation in this country about full-grown boys being able to compete and take the places of girls, whether they're 8 or 18, is just beyond comprehension to me, and it should really shock all of us, no matter where you are politically. Put partisan politics aside. The fact that we're even having this conversation in this country right now, among other conversations, whether it's okay to abort a baby at 38 weeks, whether it's, you know, all these conversations, which we can talk about ad nauseum, should be dealt with by reasonable, common sense Texans and Americans. And I believe that's what we're doing here in Austin.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Keep up the good fight, and we'd love to have you back on to update us on, you know, if and when the Democrats come back. I know Attorney General Ken Paxton has said, yes, when they come back, if arrest is needed, then that's what he'll do. So good luck fighting the good fight with a bunch of your colleagues
Well, look,
partying in
we've got
D.C.
troopers. We've got troopers, law enforcement all across the state right now who for those Democrats that are back in the state, they're going to go get them. And so instead of protecting our streets and our schools and doing their jobs, these troopers are having to take time away from the job they were appointed to do to go find Democrat lawmakers and make sure they show up for work. It's just ridiculous.
It is.
But we're going to get our work done. And I appreciate y'all having me on this morning.
Oh, you bet.
All
Blessings
right.
to you, and may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.
I kind of don't know what
Take
else
care,
to say.
Jeff. I love it, though.
May the force be with you.
That
You know,
is
they're
perfect.
pushing back the forces of darkness.
They are
It's
pushing
just,
back
it's
the forces of
crazy. And my
darkness.
dad's going to get a chuckle out of that because whenever I say, Dad, how are you doing? He goes, oh, pushing back the forces of darkness.
Hey, Grogu check.
Oh,
We
yes,
got to
yes,
see
yes.
where he is at on that
Do, do,
process.
do, do, do,
Yeah,
do.
that is the rhino unicorn. I love
It
it.
is a Berkeley unicorn. It said unicorn on the tag. Grogu, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, he's a little distraught with it as well. He's like, I don't know if I can be a
Like,
fan of that.
uh.
Well, but let's ask Grogu this question.
Oh, okay.
Pick
This
him
is
back
kind of like
up.
the Magic 8 Ball.
It is. Pick him up. Let's see what you can do. Grogu, vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yeah. We've got this.
Let's see.
Okay, vanilla.
Oh, Grogu.
that was a big- that was a big thumbs
That was
up.
a big thumbs up.
Okay.
Grogu, strawberry ice cream.
Not so
Oh,
much.
Not so much.
Ah.
Grogu, chocolate ice cream. Oh,
Oh,
well,
I-
there's a little excitement out
I
of that.
think we might have a winner.
We may have a winner. All right, so here's the
That's
big-
hilarious. This is JP Kathy and the Crew's version of the Magic 8 Ball. Grogu.
Grogu
from the Mandalorian.
the squeaker. Grogu the squeaker. So here's the big one, right? All right. Are you a vanilla, a strawberry, or a chocolate? What are you?
Would love to hear this.
Yeah, so crew members, chime in. What are your thoughts? Do you like vanilla ice cream? Are you a strawberry ice cream? Are you a chocolate ice cream person? Because here's my deal. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm about to knock you out of the ballpark.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a huge chocolate ice cream fan.
What is happening? How did I not know that about you?
I'm just not. I am not a big chocolate ice cream guy.
Interesting. See,
Yeah.
now I was not a chocolate person, with the exception of like a Snickers bar or a Reese's peanut butter cup. Didn't like chocolate unless it was in that format. Up until I was pregnant with my son, and after I got through the real bad morning sickness and was able to eat stuff, I only craved like chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream. And it's interesting. Ever since then, I love chocolate. Prior to being pregnant with CJ, did not. Funny thing is, he can't stand chocolate.
Well, I wonder,
so there you go.
I wonder if that's what happened to me. I wonder once I had my baby, and oh yeah, I still have.
So
it.
at one point, did you like chocolate
You
ice
know,
cream?
I don't think I ever really
Like
was
even
big
as a
chocolate-
kid?
Not even as a kid.
Okay.
Now I would eat Rocky Road ice cream with my mom because
But
that was her
again,
favorite.
And that's an emotional thing for you. I know that's a big deal with you.
Right.
But also, it's got the marshmallows, the nuts.
Nuts and all- right.
It's not true just chocolate.
So for me, it has to be vanilla ice cream base. Right? And so then you can do what you want with it. So like, for example, I think it's called bunny ice cream or something like that. The bunny ice cream. They've got the
yeah,
bunny
bunny
footprints
tracks
or
or
whatever. Yeah, bunny tracks or whatever.
something like
right?
the bunny blue.
So, and they've got
bunny-
like a
blue bunny?
chocolate ribbon with a caramel ribbon
Yes,
with chocolate
yes,
covered
yes, yes,
peanuts.
yes.
So again, it's got to be vanilla based, right? So Ann Guzman says vanilla. Michelle says vanilla because it goes with floats and liquor.
I just, it floats in liquor. It goes with floats in liquor. I'm like, that's of course,
Now, see, of
Michelle.
course, if you-
Belated happy birthday. Did you have some of that for your birthday?
Right. Now, if you did a green banana, then you'd put mint chocolate chip ice cream in the green banana when you're having your drink there. So
What?
that's an Austin thing.
Never heard of
Oh,
that.
the green banana. Let me tell you.
Ooh, is that
Woo, buddy,
good?
it turned you into a green monkey. Let me just tell you. So it's good. And so
What's a green monkey? Okay.
what turns you into a green monkey? Oh, Sharon says it's bunny tracks.
Bunny tracks.
Now,
Yes,
see,
yes,
so
yes.
again, though, for me, though, to have the chocolate in it, it can't be the ice cream.
Okay.
It can be a chocolate syrup. It can be a hot fudge. But the ice cream's
But the ice
got
cream
to be
itself.
vanilla.
Now with a sundae, definitely. I don't like tricking up sundaes. Like a lot of people, even when you go to Brahms, like I would take the kids to Brahms when they were little, and they would get a sundae, and they would usually get a flavored ice cream with the sundae stuff on top. I'm always vanilla with whatever topping I'm getting on my sundae. Now, I am a fan of, because I like vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, all three separately. Not a big preference to one over the other. but I do like Neapolitan. And I remember growing up as a kid, like for some reason, I always thought like we were rich when we had Neapolitan because that just seemed really fancy that we had all three ice cream flavors in one carton. My dad's like, okay, kid, we weren't rich, and wow, how easily fooled were you? But, you know, I remember things like that as a kid. That was a big deal. Still to this day, I like Neapolitan because I'm either in the mood for strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate. There's usually no in between.
So we're not a mixer then.
With Neapolitan, I can be, especially if I can put some Hershey's chocolate syrup over the top of it. I dig that mixed, but I'm usually in the mood, especially like if I go to get a shake, for example, because I don't eat a lot of ice cream, but if I go to get a shake, I'm either, and it's definitely in the mood for strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate. Now, if they have salted caramel.
Yeah, see, salted caramel's new on the scene now.
And it is.
This is just the vanilla,
just the basics. So if I
strawberry,
go with
chocolate.
the basics, it
When we
depends
were
on the
kids, there
mood.
were no salted caramel. There was an accident of dropping the salt shaker in the caramel syrup in the ice cream, but that was about the extent of that. So Coach Quigley's a chocolate guy.
Oh,
he says,
read
every
this.
birthday, my dear mother made me chocolate cake with chocolate icing with chocolate ice cream.
Oh,
There you go.
I
Ann
love
says
that.
sherbet is the best.
And I'm a big sherbet fan. And Ann, do you like sherbet that has? It's kind of like the Neapolitan of sherbet. Bluebell puts out one that has
Yes, I love
lime,
that.
orange,
Yes.
and raspberry sherbet. And sometimes instead of raspberry, they have lemon, which then I'm loving that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of sherbet.
I am as well.
We
Michelle
need, to have
says
we need to have a whole thing just about sherbet.
we do. So Michelle says I would dip my French fries in vanilla shakes. See, I do that.
Had a
Okay.
girlfriend who did that.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
This is where I do go chocolate. Are you ready? The drive-through at Wendy's. I get the child size frosty.
The frosty.
The chocolate frosty.
That's a whole different playing
Yes, and then
level,
I dip
though.
my Wendy's French fries
In
in my
the-
frosty, and I eat my
Yep.
fries. Yeah, you got to do that.
And I've got a couple of
That's a
friends who
game
do
right there,
that.
buddy.
That's a game changer.
Right.
But I put, and this is crazy, I'm telling you, there's something about that Wendy's chocolate, not a sponsor, they can be,
Right.
the Wendy's chocolate frosty that stands alone. Like I told you, until I got
Yeah.
pregnant with CJ, I was not a fan of chocolate. I've always been a fan of the Wendy's chocolate frosty. I think it's a different chocolate
It's
on a
just a different
different
all by
level.
itself.
It is in a category by itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
let's see. Michelle says all about the hot caramel topping. Coach says
Oh,
exit
yeah.
198 on Highway 45 has the peach store with the best peach milkshake.
Took the kids there. We took the kids there for a road trip. Oh my goodness!
Guess what the base is?
That's just so good.
Guess what the
Peach.
base? It's vanilla.
Oh, well, vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah, vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. But
So-
it's those fresh peaches.
So
They're
again, here
good.
here's the thing, right? So chocolate ice cream, not my gig. When I was a kid, though,
Right.
and we would get the Neapolitan ice cream.
Right.
So I would want all three, right? Because I had to have all three.
All three. Okay.
Yeah, you can't just have one in the Neapolitan bucket. You got to have all three.
And then that's kind of rude. Like you go in and you just dig out all the chocolate or all of it.
Now, I had-
which been there and done
My
that.
sister does
Been there and
that.
done
I would
that,
be like,
so-
okay, all the chocolate's gone. There's just strawberry
Yeah.
vanilla left, which was funny. So, but here's the deal. You ready for this? I would then take my spoon. I would not eat a bite. I would take my spoon and I would start mixing the ice cream to blend it all together.
Oh, it was blended.
Yes, and then I would eat it. and it
Then
was-
the chocolate was not a problem.
Right. Isn't that something? And it's not that I dislike chocolate.
And isn't that funny that you
I still
remember
like
that
it.
so vividly from your childhood?
Yeah, I'll be 930 years old and won't remember a damn thing but that.
You'll be like, Neapolitan, I need a spoon to stir it and blend it.
Well, that may not be true. I might remember that in sex. But outside of
Oh
that,
my gosh,
I don't know that I remember
it's not
anything
even
else.
Friday. Where did we get
So
that?
I'm just saying.
Where did that come
Well,
from?
can you imagine that in the rest home? Walking around with no underwear, eating ice cream. Woo, here we go.
We're going to have a good time in the
We
nursing
are.
home.
We're playing
And
bingo.
Karaoke.
And karaoke. There you go. We're going to play karaoke bingo.
We're going to have our feather boa on.
With
It's
no
all
underwear, no
good.
pants, eating ice cream. Yeah, I'm building a picture for you. Here's what we're doing.
Oh, everybody's
So-
like, what nursing home is that they're going to? We want to avoid it.
Oh, now, and I do remember this. Do you remember Carvel over by Clark High School on Spring Creek? He goes, I was a regular there growing up in Jersey, soft serve swirl with Jimmy's.
Was there a Carvel's ever? I didn't
Yeah.
realize that because
Yeah.
in Carvel, isn't that the one where you have Fudgy the whale cake?
I don't.
Am I thinking
that's
the right?
That's a lot more information I ever had. I just
Carvel,
got the
help me
swirl.
out with that, Coach.
I was a squirrel guy, Coach.
I didn't remember there was a
Yeah.
Carvel ice cream over there. I didn't remember that. Wow. Huh.
So
Yeah, I
here
thought
it
that was
is.
just up
We've
north.
heard some of you. Tio, where are you, buddy? vanilla, strawberry, or chocolate. You got to pick one. Mine is everything starts off with vanilla.
So whatever that is, you build from there.
Yes. Now, here is the exception to the rule.
Dun, dun, dun.
For me, anyways. Strawberry banana ice cream.
Now, are you a big strawberry banana person?
I am.
A yogurt too?
Not so much because it doesn't taste as good.
Okay.
But I would buy that. When the Yoplait had it, I would buy it.
You'd buy it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, strawberry banana ice cream.
Okay.
There's
Then
something to that.
I'll tell you what my go-to is. If I was only allowed to have one flavor of ice cream the rest of my life, it would probably be the strawberry cheesecake.
Really?
Love cheesecake.
Now, that's on the scene of late, right? That's like last 10, 15 years, right?
Love. Well, probably more like 20 or so. I mean,
Has
it's
it
been
been
around
20
for a
years?
long
Okay.
time. Yeah, Bluebell's had it out for
Oh,
forever.
Elizabeth
today.
says vanilla with chocolate syrup.
There you go. And
you
I
go.
like vanilla with I like to mix, like if I go to either McDonald's or Sonic or Brahms, I'll get vanilla ice cream, and then I'll get, depending on which place it is, I'll get hot fudge and caramel, and then if they have the strawberry topping, that topping too. So I'll go with 3 toppings.
You're a topping girl.
It's like a condiment.
It's yeah.
Those
It's-
toppings
it's-
on a Sunday are like my
it's like a
condiments to
condiment.
my chicken
Yeah, I
nuggets.
agree.
I mean, it is what is it shocking?
No.
Is anybody shocked?
No, just like a condom. I got you. So, bottom line is that I'm a vanilla guy,
Yeah.
and you can make a strawberry shake out of vanilla ice cream
Yes.
with a little strawberry syrup. See, again, everything for me starts.
It starts
at
with
vanilla.
at the base.
Yep. Coach
So if
Quigley
you-
says the Carvel ice cream cake.
Yeah. Okay. So Fudgy the Whale was one of those because we got that for one of Michael's birthdays one time. I can't remember where we saw Fudgy the Whale was on some TV show or something. Oh, it was on an episode of The Office.
Well, and a side note, Michelle, we still have your Starbucks gift card in the 2-drawer filing cabinet.
Oh yeah.
And I owe Elizabeth a gift card as well.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Well, it's like I leave
We're
the
our own
show-
assistants and we
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love y'all.
Sorry.
We didn't
we'll
spend
get that
them.
to you. Well, I didn't forget
JP
about
did
it.
buy them.
Well, and seriously, we've got the gift card in the
in-
2-drawer
I was gonna
filing
say-
cabinet. It's sitting there with Michelle's name on it. So here's the deal, though. We owe 2 big happy birthdays to 2 of our biggest people on the crew.
Yeah.
We owe Michelle a big old happy birthday.
Yay.
And we owe Ann a big old happy birthday as well.
Mwah.
So
Birthday blessings
happy
to 2
birthday
wonderful
to
ladies.
both of you, and hope you've had a wonderful birthday and many more to come. All right. Well, hey, guess
And
what?
we'll-
Friday.
And we'll be doing this on
no,
Friday.
Let's do this right now.
Oh, you're
Heck yeah, we can party.
Is it the orange one that you had? I think you did.
Yeah,
you did the other one. Okay.
I did the other one. I did the lemon.
Okay,
whatever.
so we're doing now. I'm doing the rosemary lemon this time.
Yeah, and I've got the. I can't read without moving my glasses
Orange.
down. I've got orange blossom and pistachio.
Yeah. So
Who thinks these up? Orange blossom and pistachio.
well, I still wish I had the job of coming up with all the OPI nail polish names.
I thought you were going to say opiate nail polish.
No, OPI,
All
my
right, let's
favorite
see.
nail polish.
Oh, and Coach Quigley says I like Dickies on 14th with the free soft serve ice cream machine.
Yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes,
I'm trying
yes.
to
That's
you
good
know, hey,
stuff.
by
Yeah,
the
that's good
way,
stuff.
there is a new
Oh, I like this
Hawaiian
very
store.
light though.
Yeah, that's why- I
Super
don't
light.
know,
You,
I'm
you
not-
like a little more fragrance.
Well, I want a little more lemon.
Which is the reason
robust.
why you've got the Spinster Sisters Company lemongrass sage
See, I
body
can't smell
butter.
the pistachio.
This is way light. This is even lighter than this one. Would you agree
Oh,
on
gosh,
fragrance?
yes.
The feel's good. I like the feel.
Good cream.
I like
Good shea
It
butter.
is, yeah, good,
Good
yeah,
shea
good shea butter in there. So I like that. Especially with nowadays how often everybody washes their hands and uses sanitizers and whatnot. Now, and this is yours, sir.
How much do I owe you?
Happy
for that?
birthday! Don't worry.
well, thank
Oh
you.
goodness gracious! How many cups of coffee have you bought me over the years? Please.
I don't know.
It's the least I can give you.
I do love this. Stuff. This
Now
is-
that's a really good lotion.
I
Got
love
that at
this.
Market
the
Street.
lemongrass sage. I'll do this after I wash my hands.
Really good smell,
'Cause I gotta
and
go
also
potty.
good feel, good consistency, or whatever you want to say. But anyways, good stuff. So
So I'm out in Denton now.
Yeah.
Just a quick story because I know the music is coming. And there is a new place out there. It's a Hawaiian restaurant, and it's a
Ooh.
fast food. Now check this out. This is one fast food that when I finally go, okay, JP's Kitchen time, which I'm on the verge of.
yeah,
I can eat there. They serve a chicken teriyaki Hawaiian style. They serve a huhu mawahu chuchu, which I'm totally wrong on, but another flavored grilled chicken with peppers and onions and
Ooh, is it so good?
garlic, yes. And then a third chicken item, and then they serve They serve a spicy vegetable, which I'm not a fan of, by the way.
Okay.
Because I want my vegetables to have their flavor. Like, I enjoy my vegetables,
Is
right?
the spicy too overpowering
Yes.
so you don't taste the vegetable
Yes. Now,
anymore?
other people probably would like it. It's
Okay.
peppery and all that.
Right.
And then white rice, and then you can get a side of pineapple.
Oh, see, and I'm all about
Yes.
pineapple with
Well,
chicken.
but a
and,
healthy
yeah.
place to go eat, right? And it's fast. Here's the best.
So it like drive-through fast
Yes,
food?
drive through.
What?
Yeah, what? Yeah. No
We need
kidding.
that here in
and it's
Collin
good.
County.
And it's good. And so check this out.
Wow.
They do a pineapple or a strawberry, because the coach is what made me think of this, or a blend of the pineapple and strawberry soft serve.
Right.
And it's calorie friendly, and it's by Dole. And it is,
Ooh.
whoa. I get
Okay,
the
now my
mess.
stomach's growling.
Yeah, it should be. If I could get one of them from Denton to here and it not be melted, I would do it.
You would do it.
But I don't know how
I'm
to- I
like,
don't know how
please.
to
I'm
do
like,
it.
maybe we need to put a ice pack in a.
We could do a remote from there and see if they let us do taste testing.
Oh,
How fun would
I mean, that sounds.
be?
I'm in.
Me
Tell me
too.
when.
Me too.
Tell me when.
Lord, holy moly. All right. Well, hopefully you've had a good time. We'll see you on Friday. On Friday,
love
we
y'all.
have the new Miss Texas.
No, oh, actually, the Miss Texas team.
Oh, I can't propose to her.
No, she's underage.
Listen, I've got her ring. I'm ready.
You're
I'm gonna go on
ready
bended
you're
knee.
ready for the new Miss Texas to come in studio.
I got bended knee and I've got a ring.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. She's stunning and she is amazing.
She's the full package.
She is. She's brains, beauty, heart, everything. So is the Miss Texas team. This young lady is
I have to
incredible.
behave with Miss Texas
You have
team.
to behave. She'll be coming in via Zoom on Friday because next week she competes for the Miss Teen Outstanding Teen America. So we're going to
We hope she wins that.
We hope she wins, and I think she's got a real shot. So we've got an interview with her right before she packs her bags and leaves for the competition. So good stuff. We get to wish her well right here on JP, Kathy, and the Crew.
Yep. All right. So everybody have a great week, and we will see you on Friday.
Love y'all. Bye.